Imagine a vast, white wilderness, a land of ice and silence covering an area 3 times the size of Texas. This is Greenland, a place that for centuries has been on the frozen periphery of our world. But beneath its serene, icy facade, a geopolitical storm is brewing. The world's great powers, the United States, China, and Russia, all turning their eyes to this massive island. The question is, why? Why is this remote, sparsely populated territory suddenly at the center of a new global power struggle? Today, we go in to peel back the layers of ice and uncover the secrets that make Greenland one of the most strategic pieces of real estate on the planet. Let's start with what's happening on the surface, or rather, what's disappearing from it. Climate change is warming the Arctic at a rate 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the world. For Greenland, this means its massive ice sheet is melting at an alarming pace. While this is a dire warning for global sea levels, it's also uncovering something that has been locked away for millennia: land and resources. As the ice recedes, vast tracts of Greenland are becoming accessible for the first time in modern history. And what lies beneath is a treasure trove. Greenland is believed to hold some of the world's largest untapped reserves of rare earth elements. What are those? They're the critical ingredients for everything that powers our modern lives: smartphones, electric vehicle batteries, wind turbines, and advanced military technology. The global supply of these elements is currently dominated by China, which controls over 80% of the market. This gives Beijing immense leverage over global tech and defense industries. Any country that wants to break this dependence needs a new source, and Greenland is looking like the jackpot. This isn't just about minerals. It's about securing the future of technology and national security. The United States, in particular, sees developing Greenland's resources as a crucial step to reduce its reliance on a strategic rival. So, you have this incredible mineral wealth. But getting to it is another story. Mining in the Arctic is incredibly difficult and expensive. The infrastructure is almost non-existent. You need ports, roads, power plants, and a skilled workforce, all in one of the harshest environments on Earth. This is where the geopolitical game gets really interesting. Building this infrastructure costs billions, and Greenland, an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark with a population of just over 56,000, doesn't have that kind of cash. Enter China. Over the past decade, Chinese state-owned companies have been actively trying to invest in Greenland. They've offered to build airports, fund mining projects, and establish research stations. From China's perspective, this is a perfect fit for its Belt and Road Initiative, extending its economic and strategic influence into the high north. For a while, it seemed like Greenland might welcome this investment with open arms. Who wouldn't want brand new airports and a booming mining sector? But this is where the United States and Denmark drew a line in the snow. They saw China's moves not as simple economic investment, but as a strategic play to gain a foothold in a critical region. An airport built by a Chinese company could potentially have dual-use capabilities, serving military as well as civilian purposes. A Chinese presence in Greenland would put it right on NATO's doorstep, offering a vantage point over North America and the Atlantic. In 2018, the Pentagon stepped in, pressuring Denmark to block a Chinese bid to finance and build 3 major airports in Greenland. Ultimately, Denmark and the US cobbled together a funding package to keep China out. It was a clear signal: the Arctic is not for sale to strategic competitors. This brings us to the military dimension. For the United States, Greenland's importance is nothing new. During the Cold War, it was a critical strategic outpost. Thule Air Base, located on Greenland's northwest coast, is the US military's northernmost installation. It houses powerful radar systems that are part of the early warning network designed to detect incoming ballistic missiles. It's the first line of defense for North America, as Russia reasserts its military presence in the Arctic. And as China declares itself a near-Arctic state, the strategic value of Thule and Greenland as a whole has skyrocketed. In 2019, the US reopened its consulate in Nuuk, Greenland's capital, after it had been closed for decades. A year later, it sent a $1 billion aid package. These aren't just diplomatic niceties. They are calculated moves to shore up influence and counter rivals. And let's not forget Russia. Russia has the world's longest Arctic coastline and has been aggressively militarizing its northern territories, reopening Soviet-era bases and deploying new icebreakers and advanced weapon systems. The melting ice is opening up new shipping routes, most notably the Northern Sea route along Russia's coast. This route can cut the travel time between Asia and Europe by up to 40% compared to the traditional Suez Canal route. As Greenland's ice melts, it could also open up the Transpolar Sea route, which would pass directly over the North Pole. The nation that controls the gateways to these routes will have a significant economic and military advantage. Greenland sits at the strategic choke point between the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans, making it a gatekeeper for these future maritime highways. Control access to Greenland, and you influence who gets to use these lucrative new shortcuts. Amidst all this great power competition are the people of Greenland themselves. The Greenlandic Inuit have lived on this land for thousands of years, and they are now at a crossroads. On one hand, the potential wealth from mining and strategic investment could finally pave the way for full independence from Denmark, a long-held dream for many. A booming economy could fund schools, healthcare, and social programs, transforming the nation's future. On the other hand, this rush for resources threatens their traditional way of life, which is deeply connected to the environment. Large-scale mining could cause irreversible damage to the fragile Arctic ecosystem. Furthermore, they risk becoming a pawn in a game played by much larger powers, where their own interests might be overlooked. The debate is fierce within Greenlandic society. Some see mining as the only path to prosperity and independence. Others fear it will destroy their culture and environment, turning their pristine home into a polluted industrial zone. Elections have been won and lost over this very issue. The current government has taken a more cautious approach, even halting a major rare earth and uranium mining project due to environmental concerns, showing that the path forward is far from certain. They are trying to walk a tightrope, balancing the desire for economic development with the need to protect their heritage and avoid getting caught in the crossfire of geopolitical rivalries. So, what does the future hold for this land of ice? Greenland is no longer a forgotten corner of the world. It is a frontier where the impacts of climate change, the quest for resources, and the ambitions of global powers collide. The story of Greenland in the 21st century will be a story of transformation. Will it become a prosperous, independent nation built on a foundation of mineral wealth? Or will it become a battleground, its fate decided by forces far beyond its shores? The one thing that is certain is that the world is watching. The secrets once kept under Greenland's ice are now out in the open, and the fight for them has only just begun. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey to the High North. If you found this fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaping our world. What do you think the future holds for Greenland? Let us know in the comments below. See you next time.